Welcome back to Margaritas in Paradise. Hey, I was going through some past questions and looking at some old videos and that, and I was thinking about when I first arrived in Thailand. I thought, after all the years of me coming here, but now I come here and I know I'm going to stay, and I have to get certain things accomplished, okay? And these are the surprises. These are things I didn't expect. So we're going to go over what surprised me about getting things accomplished that allowed me to stay in Thailand. All right. I was watching YouTube videos just like everybody else, all right? And the things that I didn't plan on when I arrived here, when I went to look for a condo or a house or whatever type of accommodations that I wanted, I wasn't thinking about having a deposit, all right? And the standard deposit here for most places is going to be 2 months deposit. Some places might have a deposit plus 2 months, and those are things that you're going to have to be prepared for. So depending on your accommodations, if you're in a really budget-friendly accommodation, and let's say your rent's only 7,000 baht a month, well, more than likely, they're going to want more than 2 months worth of deposit on a cheaper residence like that. So you may be looking at, let's say, 20,000 baht deposit in lieu of 2 months ahead of time, first and last, or however they call it. But the more you get into the nicer places, the luxury type places where it's probably going to be 2 months rent, and let's say you're paying 25,000 baht a month. So just to move in, you're looking at 75,000 baht just to move in. And so I didn't prepare for that. And I should have, because I've known about deposits and things like that. And that's the reason why I'm bringing it up to you. Along with that, there's going to be certain services that you're going to want. And I've went over this before about having, let's say, your internet, which I think is a pretty important thing. And I want a fast internet. But if it hasn't been installed before in the building that you're in, chances are you may have to pay the installation fee to get it installed. Sometimes when it's being ran from the main line on the street to the accommodations, you may have to rent a spot on the box through the accommodations, all right? And I had a place that I had to spend 2,500 baht to rent this box where they plugged it in to the building where I was running from. And that was on, if I wanted to have the data line clicked in, and this was through 3BB, I had to pay this 2,500 baht rental fee for this box. Now, fortunately, it was just a one-time fee, but the thing is that was something that I wasn't expecting. There's going to be other fees as well, such as, let's say, key cards. Now, of course, I would always suggest that you get 2 key cards minimum, all right? But if you have to put a deposit down on those key cards, and especially if it's something really high, I'd say it's 1,000 baht per key card, something like that. My recommendation is to get 1 key card and go have it reproduced at a key shop somewhere in town. Now, they may tell you that you can't do that, but I would give it a try. Why tell them that you're going to do it in the first place? All right, so that's something else. And chances are that key card's probably going to cost you, let's say, 100 baht or 150 baht, something like that. And you get a key card that's yours to keep. You can throw it away or you can do whatever you want with it. Now, one of the things that comes up a lot is on visas. So there's a couple things that you have to think about. How long does a visa take, for instance? All right, and we always talk about basically renewing your visa, but actually starting out and getting your initial visa, it costs more. So I think most places would recommend about 3 weeks, 21 days ahead of time on your existing visa, whatever your existing visa is, You want to start out with plenty of time ahead, all right, and don't wait till the last minute. Take care of this early. Contact an agent or go down to the immigration service if you're going to do it yourself, and make sure you're working on this ahead of time so there isn't a deadline that you have to meet before your current visa expires. All right. And with that being said, your visa, the application fees and everything else to get in is going to cost more than, say, extending it. So I would generally say about 40,000 baht or so is what you're looking at. But what I would do to double verify that is check with one of the visa agents. One Stop on Soy 6 is a good example. A lot of people have been using them lately. I've never used them, but they have a lot of really good recommendations. I looked at their website. It looks very professional, so definitely check them out. This is kind of linked to One Stop in the description below. So, yeah. Now I'm looking at the One Stop webpage on their frequently asked questions, and I want to read this to you. It says, what documents are required for retirement visa? And the answer is will require your passport with the non-O visa, and we advise 21 days remaining on your existing visa. See what I was talking about? All right, you'll be required to have a Thai bank account with 800,000 Thai baht or an income of 65,000 Thai baht per month. We will also require a TM30 and a residence certificate, which we can help with and facilitate. So those are the things that you need to have, okay, and the requirements that you need. But definitely check with the visa agent, and they can help you meet your requirements if you need help meeting those requirements. Does that make sense? Anyway, check with an agent. Oh, if you haven't done so already, make sure you give me a big thumbs up, that you're hitting that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell right next there for future notification of videos that are coming out. Things I want to mention concerning when you go to get a bank account in Thailand. And one of the things is they're going to give you an ATM debit card, all right? And it's not going to have your name on it. And just in general, most debit cards or ATM type cards here in Thailand don't have your name on them. And when you get your card, when you're using your card initially, there's certain things that you may not be aware of, such as transaction limits, for instance, okay? And these may be things that you have to go into the settings on your app, on your phone app, okay? Or possibly to the computer or even at an ATM and go to the settings for your account. And there's certain things that you need to authorize before it can happen. And one of the things may be an international transfer. So if you're using like Wise app or something like that, and you're transferring money from your home country to your Thai bank account, they may block that altogether, okay? But without you going in at first and autarizing international transfer of funds, all right? So that's one thing. Another thing is say that you wanted to go buy a motorbike or something like that. And when you opened your account, let's say you put in 500,000 baht, okay? And you decided to go out and buy this 100,000 baht motorbike. Well, you go to do the transfer on that, and you find out it's been denied. And the reason why that is your transfer amount isn't set high enough, okay? So how much money do you need to have access to at any given time? Well, I always felt like it's my money. I want to have access to 100% of it all the time. But a lot of times they don't do that here, because if you forget your card or something like that someplace and somebody else uses your card, how much money do they have access to? So that's something to kind of keep in the back of your mind. I think you can turn on and off max limits and that type, and change the limits as well. But anyway, so you have to go into your personal settings for that account, and you have to manage your personal limits, okay? You have to manage like international transfers. You have to be able to manage QR codes. So whether you can scan QR codes or make QR codes from your account to send somebody maybe a bill or something like that, you have to set up all this information ahead of time in your settings. And it may be possible to check with the bank teller and potentially have them set up everything for you. All right. I remember when I was doing my Bangkok bank account, for instance, I had them go ahead and set up everything for me because I just didn't understand it. And that may apply to you, but of course, you can do it yourself. There's been many times when I send money, when I do a transfer to somebody else, and I try to do a screenshot of the bank account, and it comes up for security reasons, we don't allow screenshots. All right, so, and you can adjust your security levels of what you allow to do or not. So that's one of the things, because I do screenshots all the time. Biometrics, okay, whether you allow facial recognition or you need your fingerprint or different symbols on the keypad and that type of thing there. You have to set up that stuff for specifically for that bank account. Online purchases. If you use Lazada or Shopee or was that Temu now, or even let's say Grab and you order food online to have it delivered here, you're going to have to authorize online purchases. So make sure that you go ahead and set up that, because the last thing you want to do is be paying for something and it comes up declined, and then you have to go back and change it later on. Take care of it now while you're thinking about it. Of course, I did touch on this, but international transfers, whether it's you're receiving money here or you're sending money abroad, transferring money, it's one thing bringing it in, but sending money out of the country, you have to think about that, okay? And you need to authorize it to be able to do it. Prompt Pay is another payment system. And there's also, if you want to top up your phone or other people's phone, you have to authorize that as well. So those are just some of the key items that you definitely want to check out and get, know what's available for your bank card. Make your bank card super easy. Anymore, I very seldom ever put my ATM card in the machine anymore. I do a cardless ATM withdrawal more times than not. Everything's done on my phone. It sends information to the ATM account, and I punch in some key information, and my money's dispensed to me. So it's very simple, all right? But be careful. Take care of yourself, all right? Hey, I want to put out another shout out. Okay, you guys buying me coffees and drinks and everything. I definitely appreciate it. So humbling. And especially last week, it was something else. So, Peter, thank you so much. Generous. Thank you again. Andrea, and I say that right, Andrea P. I appreciate it too. Thank you again very much. If you're interested in buying me a cup of coffee or a beer or something, there's a link in the description below. You can do that as well. All right. Tip, if nothing else, but I had no idea when I first came here how bad the mosquitoes are here. Now, I probably have got used to them to a certain extent, and a lot of people think maybe I overemphasize this a little bit. That mosquitoes exist here, and you can get things like dengue fever and things like that, and which will cause real problems for you. And coming in these 7-Elevens, one of my videos coming up soon, I am looking for Mosquito plugins. So if you look right here, right there in front of us, these are 79 baht. That's it right here. It's a Mosquito plugin, and it's good for 30 days. And this one comes with the plug-in and one cartridge. And the nice thing about this one in particular is you can turn the plug on it, so no matter which direction the plug's going, it's a good option. Now, These here little packets of insect repellent are only $5. Okay, a package, and they're handy to have in your pockets. This style here, and this one, which I've never used before, but that's another option as well. I had another friend of mine recommend going into 7-Elevens or the convenience stores and finding these plug-in type mosquito zappers, okay, which work fantastic. I carry them in my 3-day pack, and I have one of each type with me here, so I'm going to show you what these things look like. And I think I have a video for you coming up in here where you can find them in a 7-Eleven and that type of thing there. So here's the initial one here that I have, and it's just a screw-in bottle, so you can get a 30-day refill, okay? And I kind of watch for these refills to go on sale. Sometimes they're buy one, get one free type of thing. So anyway, and then the back plug-in is your standard just slot type plug-in, in which you can put it into any hotel room, but this plug-in will turn as well. So whatever direction it goes, it'll fit in the right way it's supposed to go, okay? So there's that style there, and then there's another style by a different company, and I kind of like this one better. It has a little night light on it, that type of stuff there. The same type of screw-in bottle, replacement bottle. I don't see this one going on sale very much, but it's still, I want to say it was like 79 baht, approximately $2 for this plug-in. And this thing here, really one of these is all you need for a month's stay or so. So they're recommended for about 30 days. This one here, the plug-in also turns. So whatever direction your plug is, you'll be able to plug it in without turning it sideways. But anyway, these are super handy. When I get to a hotel room, or if I ever, now I don't have mosquitoes in this room, but if I did, they would be plugged in here. There's no doubt about it. But hotel rooms, I always, anywhere I travel in Thailand, I always have these with me. And so it's one of these things, don't let the mosquitoes catch you by surprise, okay? And, you know, if you're going out, you need to wear mosquito spray or lotion. Yeah, don't take a chance in getting dengue fever. That's not worth it. All right, so we're going to press on. I talk about a lot about things that you're walking around here, whether you're walking or you're on your motorbike or whatever you're doing, and you kind of move around with your head on a swivel because you need to be aware of the things around you. All right. Now, most people are super nice here. It's the land of smiles. All right. But when you get into a tourist area, not everybody is the same. Many of the people that are here, they may not even be Thai for that fact. They may be foreigners who came here to catch tourists off guard and take advantage of tourists. Okay, so if you're living in a tourist community, scams are out there, and you have to be aware of that. And if it doesn't, or if it sounds too good to be right, more than likely it is. So that's just something, just because everybody's smiling at you, and most people will be, because it's so much easier to smile for whatever reason than to sit there with a frown on your face. Is that right? Well, anyway, it makes you feel better anyway, and people in general smile here. But does everybody smile mean the same thing? Okay, and that's just something to kind of keep in the back of your mind and think about, that what do they really want from me? And hopefully they want you to have a good day. Yeah, that's the idea, is have a good day, enjoy your visit in Thailand. But not everybody's going to be that way. So be prepared, all right, for things to happen. But don't let it affect your trip or your life while you're here in Thailand. And the last item I want to talk about again is money. Money's always the root of all evil. But anyway, this is a serious thing, and we bring this up a lot because many people ask about this. They ask it in questions, they send me private messages, that type of stuff, and that's something else. They stop me on the street and ask me about it as well. But if you see me on the street, definitely stop, come over. I want to meet you. Let's do a selfie together. Or just say hi and let me know that you're in town. If you follow my channel or subscribe, please let me know. But anyway, so back to the money thing here. People ask me, they say, well, how much money should I bring? And my opinion about cash, when it comes down to cash, and there's going to be lots of people that don't think it's a good idea to carry cash, but you need to do it safely. So you should bring over as much cash as you feel safe bringing over here. If you're going to be here for an extended period of time, having US dollars, okay, large denomination US dollars, I would say just blue $100 US notes. All right, and we'll get more into that in a minute. And bring as much as that you feel comfortable bringing. I think the max you can bring into Thailand right now without declaring it is 20,000 US dollars. Now, do you need that much? Probably not. But there are people that come over here and they want to stay for an extended period of time, and they can live on that much money for a long time. Now, if you're bringing in more than that, then you're going to have to declare it. And they have new tax laws in place and things like that. So those are the type things that you need to kind of keep in the back of your mind. So, of course, the first time I came to Thailand, I came here with probably, let's say I had $2,000 in US dollars, all 100, and I didn't give it any thought in the world about them. And probably half of them were white older bills that had been folded up, and they had little merchant marks on them and stamps and that type of stuff. You know what I ended up doing with that cash? Let's say half the bills had foreign marks on them. They were folded up, maybe torn or things like that. Probably all of those bills that had that, I ended up taking back to the U.S. because the exchange booths would have nothing to do with those bills. All right. And that was something I should have known about, but I didn't. And so the people that come here and they have the stray white $100 bill or something with a little torque corner or something like that, more than likely they're going to end up having to take them home. You can try to exchange them, okay, but more than likely you're going to end up having to take them home. So my recommendation to you is, while you're in the U.S. or whatever foreign country you're in, and whatever currency you're bringing it in, I would get the highest currency available, okay, and we're using the U.S. as an example here. So you're getting the $100 bills. Make sure they're all blue $100 bills, that there's no creases or folds or anything like that on them, that there's no foreign marks, and take care of that in plenty of time before you plan on coming over here. So when you get over here, you don't run into that problem. And I'll tell you, that's another thing. I touched on this a little bit before. Depending on how much money you have, I would definitely recommend breaking it up. Don't carry it all in the same place. There's money belts out there. If nothing else, put some in this pocket and some in the other pocket. I definitely would never put anything in checked baggage, that's for sure. And the thing to remember is, if you put something in carry-on baggage, there's a possibility of that getting lost or somebody taking it by mistake or something like that. So be very, very careful about leaving things that you cannot afford to lose in a bag that's not personally on you while you're sleeping or things like that. So I hope you understand what I'm talking about there. Personal safety, for sure. All right, so when it comes to exchanging money, so we'll step back. You're in your foreign country, never ever exchange money in your country. If you're in the United States and you're in Iowa someplace, do not go to your bank in Iowa and buy Thai baht because you want to be ready. When you arrive in Thailand, I probably wouldn't be so much concerned about the adjusted rate too much at the airport. A lot of people will go down to the lowest level and go to a super rich or something like that exchange and get the best rate possible. When you're heading to customs area, there's going to be exchange booths and ATMs along the way there, and you could stop and exchange, let's say, $100 or $200 worth of Thai baht to get you through, to get you to your hotel, maybe to pick up a bottle of water or something at a 7-Eleven or whatever, or even get you your initial SIM card or whatever you need, just pocket money. All right, and that's definitely a way to do it. Even if you used an ATM, using your debit card or whatever, that type of stuff, do it at the airport, okay? But just get enough to get you by for the first night. So when it comes to actually exchanging your U.S. currency or any foreign currency for that fact, you always use an exchange booth, okay, that's on the street, like these yellow box booths that'll have TT exchange or super rich, or there's all kinds of them in all different colors, but they're always going to give you the better rates, all right? And they're used constantly. There's no scams going on. So you definitely want to use an exchange booth. If you think you're going to get a better rate going into a bank and doing it, no, you're not. You're going to get an extremely lower rate, maybe by one baht difference. I wanted to mention my buddy Nathan, representative of Pattaya Jomtien Real Estate Company. Me and him have teamed up to show different properties in the Jomtien area of Pattaya. And I want you to follow his link down below. Give him a call if you're interested in any new properties available. There's a form for you to fill out that'll go directly to Nathan, and you can kind of give him an idea of what's going on, what you're looking for. Definitely somebody to check out. Let him know that Margaritas in Paradise sent you. So one of the last tips, okay, and this was a surprise to me. I wasn't used to it. Now, I'm not a big proponent about using credit cards anyway, but a lot of people come here and they use their credit card every day. And those people probably know that you want to use a credit card that doesn't have any foreign transaction fees. And there's lots of credit cards out there that are that way. And I'll have a link in the description below about using the Chase card that I use seldomly, but I do have a Chase card there, and there's a good link that'll save you some money if you decide to go through that link. I never realized that transaction fees are charged on both ends, okay? So if you're coming from the U.S. and you have a card from the U.S., the banks here are going to charge you a minimum of 220 baht. So let's say that's $7. And so that's going to be the bank here in Thailand's in. And then the bank in the U.S. may be 1% up. So you definitely want to get a card that has zero transaction fees. When you are using a ATM card, okay, you want to take the maximum amount that is allowable for the transaction. So if you're able to take, let's say, 20,000 baht out, which would be, let's just say, $600 US at a single time, I would do that instead of doing, let's say, 4 transactions of 5,000 baht a time. That credit card, you're getting a minimum fee of 220 baht. So if you just do it one time, it's a $7 fee. If you do it 4 times, it's a $28 total fee. So it's up to you. Do what you feel safe doing, but it's a good way to save money and limit the amount of times you're actually pulling your credit card out of your wallet to take care of these fees. Some banks will ask you, when you're using your credit card or your debit card in these ATMs, they'll ask you if you want to do a conversion from your currency to Thai baht. And so you'll have the opportunity to say yes or no. You always want to pick no. Have them do the conversion on your end. It'll save you money every time, because if you do it on this end, the rate that they're going to give you is going to be lower than the standard rate. Plus, they're going to make money on that transaction conversion. All right, the last tip I'm going to tell you, and this is something that I ran into. I came over here not even giving it a thought in the world about the expiration dates of my credit cards, okay? So I have a couple of them from the US, and I don't use them very often, but I have a calendar reminder on my phone that reminds me to use my credit cards every now and then so they stay active. I make sure that every time I go back to the US, I look at my credit cards, and if they're gonna expire within the next 2 years, I call up the bank and get new credit cards. I don't take a chance on a credit card expiring while I'm in Thailand. It's gonna expire at the worst time possible, number one, guaranteed. It's gonna be a time that you're getting ready to take a big trip or something like that, and you need a card right now. Well, don't wait until right now, okay? Do it while you're in the US. Get a new card, get it up to date. If it's folded or the back's all scratched out or faded or whatever, take care of yourself and get those cards taken care of before you come here. Don't be surprised when you get here and all of a sudden you arrive at the end of the month, your credit card's going to expire. That sucks. So that's all I have for you today. I hope these tips help you. And if you have any other good tips, please put them in the comments section below. While you're down there, check the description box below for all kinds of money-saving tips of what's going to make your trip better when you're in Thailand. All right, that's all I have for you. And remember, go Chiefs, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.